nervous.
I'm like really nervous, low key.
Is your mic on?
It's low.
It's Blake, and welcome to
It's
Low and Lake.
Okay, we didn't get that intro right the best, but so welcome to our podcast. We recently just started this because it was an idea that we both have just had for literally years now. If you hear extra background noise, just ignore it. But basically, this is going to be our first episode. We're going to talk about some very juicy and gossipy topics, and we're going to go back and forth with some topics we both came up with and some personal experiences. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Anyways,
Yes, let's get into
the hot topics.
Yes, so basically we wrote a bunch of hot topics down. We don't know if we'll get through everything today, but we will definitely go throughout all of the topics that we have down throughout a different episode. And we're going to try to get to the hottest topics first because I think those need to be talked about first.
Yeah. We're going to get into our first topic. Blake is going to choose.
Okay, so this is literally the first on my list, and I thought of this topic immediately because it's so interesting. It's how Addison Rae's music has witchcraft in it, and Addison Rae really has these like incredible manifesting abilities, and like with the energy she has in her music, especially her newest album, Addison. And I'm not going to go on the whole rabbit hole about, her music and if she's releasing another album, but I really hope she does because the story of Addison, if you really like read in between the lines, it's about evolution. We start in New York, then we have some fun with Money's Everything, Diet Pepsi, and I feel like once we get to the high fashion mark, that's when the manifesting really happens. And she's like, I love you, but I also still love myself. And I manifest, especially through like in the rain. I only cry in the rain. No one sees my bad parts, and I grow and evolve. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts?
I feel like one of my biggest thoughts on this is I definitely feel like the topic of Addison Rae and music is very controversial with some people, considering that she starts from TikTok stardom. But I also feel like it's crazy the way she works with her music and her art, and I also feel like it's very much just a power of manifestation, and like she really does show that with her music and her current career, because obviously, she started out as just like a girl from Louisiana that was literally nothing and then just blew up on TikTok. It was nothing but a TikTok dancer, but it's definitely truly is inspiring to see where she has gone with her career, in my opinion.
I know, especially with other artists and their support, and being at Coachella, performing with Olivia Rodrigo. Like she's got something up her sleeve. Like,
oh, most definitely, I agree.
Yeah.
So another topic, I personally chose this one, and I want to get into this one. This one is pretty controversial, and I feel like definitely needs to be talked about. Is the Bonnie Blue golden shower or baby shower? It was basically just her. If you don't know what a golden shower is, I'm not going to explain this. You can go search it up on the internet, but if you do,
make sure you're 18 plus. Please.
No, literally. But something about this topic is just something that just sits so heavy with me, because it's like it's just a very weird and perverted thing to me, because she says that she's not sexualizing the baby, but she's sexualizing herself. But the thing is it's like you're literally having men urinate on you and you're pregnant. And I know a lot of people had said that, it's been debunked that her pregnancy is fake. I don't know which truly to believe, because from what I've seen online, it does truly look like she's pregnant. Like, I've even seen the fake belly, but I don't know 100%. Either way, it's still disgusting and perverted, because it's like you're still sexualizing a unborn child, and it's just not really something that I find amusing or funny or any way, shape, or form. Like, this is like the worst way to get clout. I mean, obviously the girl knows how the internet works because she's one of the most hated people online, but there's a certain way to go about it, and sometimes it's okay to leave children out of things like that.
Especially with like the kinks and the weird shit behind like with, pregnant women and sexualization and all that stuff, like, and how
Hmm.
it's so normalized. And I also feel like it's such a bad example. Especially, I saw a video of her like drinking um with a bunch of guys while she was allegedly pregnant, and she said she was pregnant and stuff. And I don't know, it looked pretty real to me. I don't follow Bonnie Blue. I don't really know what's up with her, but the everything I've seen has been so disgusting to me. And here's the thing, I'm not against corn stars or all of that stuff and doing what you want, but when it's brought to the internet in such a weird
Yeah.
way, and I mean,
I feel like
for
there's an
example,
extent.
like when people are saying Olivia Rodrigo is normalizing pedophilia because she wore a baby dress, mind you, this is just the branding for her album. It's just a short dress, but we don't talk about things like Bonnie Blue.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. I think there's definitely a line that needs to be drawn with like I feel like there's like levels of rage baiting, and this is just straight up being disgusting,
No,
in
for
my
sure.
opinion.
Okay, while we're in the topics of music still, I kind of wanted to talk really briefly and quickly about Lizzo's branding and why she thinks her album's flopping and why it actually is, because here's the thing, like with Lizzo, she has put out some pretty good music in the past. Like I really love her album Special with like hits like About Damn Time and To Be Ready, To Be Loved, or whatever that song is called. I also really like her debut album. I think it's pretty good, and her EP, like very Lizzo, very good. Then I had a real listen on this new album, and I was like, I was laughing at the first song because I don't know, it's just like so funny. Someone said, it was comparing it to some cartoon or like some show or something, and I could not stop laughing. I can't remember what they said, but it's just I don't like, and she thinks her music is flopping because her label, well, yes, her label isn't giving her money or promo, yes, but it's also just the music's not really hitting anymore, love.
It's not like it's like I feel like she's still stuck in the same music that got her, famous, and it's like obviously don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a classic, but it comes to a point where it's like you're just basically recycling the same thing over and over again, and people get
Yeah.
tired of stuff like that. And that's why I feel like I hate to bring up Taylor Swift, but I feel like that's why a lot of people like Taylor Swift is because of how innovative she is. She doesn't repeat the same thing over and over again.
No, yeah.
We definitely have very different genres of music within her discography, and she really truly is a girl boss. And since we're already on the topic of Taylor Swift, one of my actual topics was we're filming this currently. I think it's July. What's today? July the 2nd, I
Yeah,
think.
it's a second.
And there's rumors going around that she's supposed to be getting married in Madison Square Garden of New York this weekend to Travis Kelsey on either the 4th or the 3rd or the 5th. I don't really care or no. Um, and obviously, the press has been very much after the governor. I mean, not the governor, the mayor of New York, and I've definitely seen his press, like his his opinions and speaks on it. And obviously, it's very like
Hmm.
a subject that he's not willing to speak on. It's just
And
when one of
people,
those things happens, it happens.
yeah, and people are also saying like it's a publicity stunt, and people
Oh
are
yeah.
they're trying to lie about actually having it at Madison Square so they can go somewhere else.
And another thing is like something I've also noticed is like people are really mad that she's closing off streets within New York because it's an inconvenience to New Yorkers. And obviously, I'm not from New York, nor have I never been. And so I don't know how they feel exactly, but me personally, and this is just me, is like it's one of those things where people don't realize that like she's so famous that it's dangerous for her to not do that. Like she has to do that in order for her safety and obviously wanting to
Yeah.
enjoy her wedding day. Like for instance, we saw at Jack Antonoff's wedding with her, there was people literally bombarding the venue, and it
No,
wasn't
that
even
was
her wedding.
scary. Yeah.
Like, and so I think that's like a lot. One thing, something a lot of people don't realize is like it is just it can be dangerous for her sake, safety wise. And I kind of understand where she's coming from. Do I think that she should be renting out the entirety, almost half of New York? No, but I also do understand where she's coming from. And honestly, she puts a lot of work into her art, and she also puts a lot of work into her community, and she gives back constantly. I think that for one day, it's not going to kill people for her to have, her day that's about her.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially if you think about it, I mean, even where we were yesterday, like the Madison Beer concert, there was a whole road blocked off in the city, and I get it can be an inconvenience, but like, are we gotta be so for real right now? Think about if it wouldn't be blocked off and all of the dangerous things, and I just want her to be safe. She goes out in the city to, Electric Lady Studios and all of that jazz and stuff. And she's usually fine because it's a good environment. She's safe in the studio. I don't know. But in Madison Square Garden and stuff, I feel like that's going to be hazardous. Like she needs to be safe, especially with, the whole Trump getting shot and stuff a long time ago, like and
Wow, that must really suck.
that was at a place like similar to Madison Square
Well, I
Garden.
mean, he is also like one of the most hated people on planet Earth, so
Well, she's hated too, so you never know.
yeah,
So
that's
I'm
true.
just saying I
Also,
understand.
like, let's be so for real. If I had that much money, best believe I'm gonna have my wedding at like the best spot ever. And obviously, we know she's like her. She left a part of her heart in New York. Like she loves New York. Like this is so expected and like such a Taylor thing of her to do.
This is very her to
Oh, most
do,
definitely,
especially, and I don't even think she wants it for like the aesthetic. I think she just wants Madison Square for the space and
absolutely,
where it is located in New York.
absolutely,
She is a
absolutely.
New York girly, and every single album she has got to mention New York at least somehow.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I guess I will let you get into your next topic.
Okay.
Another topic. Ooh, I love this topic actually. This is a really good topic. Toxicity of gay culture.
Oh, was that one of mine?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So would you like to speak on this first or should I? Because I have a lot of opinions on this.
You can start because I don't know what
Okay.
to say yet.
So I feel like one of my biggest opinions on toxicity of gay culture is this is coming from both of us are a part of the LGBTQ community, and I think one of the biggest things is the standards of gay culture. That's what makes it so toxic. Is okay. First of all, one of the biggest things is especially as you're like as a child and someone that just has it's the over sexualization of gay culture. One, two, the hookup culture in gay culture is way more normalized than it is in heterosexual culture. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think a lot of people don't realize that, but it very much is like everything revolves around sexual ideology, and it's very disgusting. And the objectification of literal children, like teenagers. Another thing
And
is
little children too.
no, absolutely. Another thing is I feel like something that is so bad about the toxicity of gay culture is the body standards. The body,
Or seen
yeah,
as
no, exactly.
garbage.
You're just seen as a sexual object. And for all my like little gay and trans kids out there that are 13, 14, 15, I know what you're going through and I know where you've been at. And I just want you to know like that just because of what society says does not mean that it's always true. You are more than lovable, and you are going to find people out there that care about you and love you regardless of what you look like, how much you weigh, what your interests are, what your personality is. And I feel like that's what people lose sight over is like gay culture is about perfection. Like we have to be
Mm-hmm.
perfect. And the reasoning why is because if we don't hold that perfect image, then we just fall because we fought so hard to get here where we're at.
Yeah.
And I still feel like people lose sight of that. Like it's honestly sickening and sad sometimes. And also, this is our podcast guest Oreo. This is Blake's
Yeah, this
dog.
is our first guest, you guys. Look at
He
him.
kind of
He's so
just
cute.
popped. He kind of just hopped up onto the couch at the beginning of the episode. We forgot to introduce him. But you can if you have any more tidbits you'd like to
Yeah,
add.
I'm really happy you shared because I don't know, I'm just very like anxiety filled today, and that's another topic we'll get into soon,
Oh,
but
most definitely.
oh, so sorry if there's, little pauses here and there. I'll try to cut as much as I can of the little silence. So it's very talkative, but
Oh, most
what I
definitely.
was gonna say is the online parts of gay culture is so
Oh my
weird to me
gosh.
because I wanted to get in to a little bit of a sensitive topic for me, but I'm very fine sharing it. I had this like 6 month, 7 month situationship, and I was at the point where I was like, this is getting weird because why do you not want to even call me? And it'd be like weeks of leaving me on delivered, not even opening or acknowledging me at all. And he would talk like he was either my best friend or like he loved me or something, when in actuality, I've literally never talked to this man on the phone. And it almost felt like I was a possession of his. And it felt really weird for the longest time. And I was really hurt by it. And it was just, I try not to let it get to me, obviously. But it was really hard for me to go through, especially not even being a person that dates or has a boyfriend or anything. That was just very weird to me because I've never, like, when you grow up watching the Disney princess movies or seeing stories about what love actually looks like,
Mhm.
that is literally like, it's mind blowing.
It's like the total opposite, and like that's like something that's so normalized is like online relationships, and especially like it's not even just like in gay culture; it's more common in gay culture. But these DL men are just so ew. Like if you like, I promise you, no DL man is worth your time. Like it's exciting. Like I feel like when I was younger, I definitely had more time and energy for DL men. But like as I've gotten older, it's like it gets to a point where like you just get exhausted of it. It's like I'm dealing with the
It's
same thing
so
over and
tiring.
over, and like you just realize like you're never gonna be a part of that person's life. You're never gonna be, loved out loud the way you need to be. And I honestly feel like nobody should settle for less. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. And also, getting ready to see someone, if they're putting, you got to make sure you're putting as much effort as you are as they are towards you, because if they're putting
Mhm.
no effort or energy into you, you need to also follow that same energy. You can't let that shit bother you. You can't let them take your energy or anything like that.
Okay, so we're sorry about that interruption. We're just gonna go ahead and go on to the
Is this
next
on?
topic. Yeah, we're just gonna go
Okay.
ahead and go on to the next topic. This topic is mine. This is. I don't know if anybody really remembers any of this drama unless you're like chronically online, like I am. I mean, like we're very much online all the time. The This topic is about the DV and domestic violence victims. So if this is sensitive to you, you're more than welcome to skip past this part. But I want to talk about the Evan Johnson and Caleb Malik situation. And, Caleb Malik is this TikToker and influencer online that, at first started as just like normal TikTok or whatever. And about a year or two ago, she got into a relationship with this man named Evan Johnson. And we found out about a year ago, I think, that he was actually very abusive, and she took him to court and had won the whole thing. And, good for her. I'm so happy for Michaela. And I'm, so sorry she had to go through that. Not Michaela, Kayla, sorry. I'm so happy for Kayla, and that she was able to do that, whatever. And obviously, I feel very sorry that that had to happen to her. But one of the things is most recently he just got out of jail, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because I want to talk about there's rumors going around that apparently they're back together. I keep on seeing that all over my For You page. I highly doubt this is true, only for the simple fact that like almost 9 times out of 10, when you're a domestic violence victim and you take it that far and you go to court and you have it all blasted online like that and
Yeah.
everything like that, why would you do that? Because then at that point, that seems like a publicity
Especially
stunt.
with the legal
Almost
situations,
definitely.
and the court would probably think that's insane.
Oh no, absolutely, and that's why I was saying is that I don't believe that, but that's what's been going on and circulating around online. And obviously, I haven't, I don't keep updated with her life like that. That's not really my business. But I'm sure she's probably shut these rumors down if she's heard them herself. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is it's just like I said, this was just 1 year ago, and that's something I really want to heavily get into about this is how sad the judicial system has literally failed her. Because I'm sorry, but What do you mean this man literally beat the living shit out of this woman and literally ruined and degraded her life and profited off of her?
For the rest of her life, mind you.
Literally. And he only got 1 year. That man needs life. I don't even care the fact that it was a woman. It's just in general, woman or man, domestic violence victims do not deserve to be just shoved aside. And that's what I feel like what really happened with her.
One, she's already going to be traumatized by the experience for the rest of her life.
Yep.
And now knowing that he's out, that's going to terrify her possibly even more.
That would give me so much anxiety.
The anxiety and just everything else she truly doesn't deserve. And I just think it's so messed up. Especially because, he's a man and he can get away with it too.
No.
Like, I think it's so ridiculous.
No, I definitely agree. But that's kind of all I wanted to really say on that piece. I didn't want to speak on that for too long for the simple fact that like that is a sensitive topic. But the next topic is actually Blake's topic, and I wanted to bring it up. And also, I'm sorry if I seem like I'm talking too much. We have it on my phone. I'm trying to prevent as much as passing my phone back and forth, just makes it easier.
Yeah.
But his topic is the job market, and why the hell is it so freaking hard to get a job?
Oh, you guys, I have a few stories for you. I have quite a few. So I'm going to get into this first.
Okay.
So I have applied to, I think, over 70 jobs in the past few months. And they don't, they don't check these online jobs.
Oh,
Even
most definitely not.
when they need the help,
It's very rare.
they don't check. I think from Indeed, I've gotten in total 4 out of all the years I've spent applying. And I just use Indeed to apply, then I'll call and then walk in and stuff. I don't rely on Indeed. Never rely on them. Okay, you got to do it yourself nowadays. I'm so sorry. You cannot rely on Indeed. Just fill out your application there. Anyways, I think I've gotten in total of 4 different kind of job offers from Indeed. So basically, I got this one job and it was this like really healthy, clean eating place. So I got this job at a clean eating spot and basically what had happened is I worked there for the first day. The first day was actually really nice and I was cashiering pretty much the whole time. I cleaned up. I literally cleaned all the fridges for them. I cleaned the bathrooms, all that nasty shit that they made me do. Baby, they knew they wasn't keeping me for long, but anyways. So my manager at the time, she was very sweet. She had given me this bowl because we were making sweet treats, right? And putting them on the little board for the chefs and whatever. And I asked her, "Hey, where can I put this bowl?" And she said, "Just put it in the dish pit somewhere." And I was gonna, mind you, I was gonna scrub it. I just had to get back so I can get the stuff in the kitchen, like put the healthy whatever we were making the goods somewhere. So they were just not sitting out. So I put this bowl in the sink in the dish pit, okay? And 5 seconds later, I go out to the front house and I'm about to put my shit away. And tell me why the chef is going insane. I have no idea this is about me, but he is going insane. Mind you, one of the owners is there in the back. It's a very small place. And he was complete. He's like, "Why is this bowl in the dish pit? This is not allowed." Because I guess he was allergic to that material. And we weren't allowed to put that dish in the dish pit.
Then how else were you supposed to get it washed?
I'm saying. And the owner and the chef starts yelling at me. Mind you, this is my first day. And the owner's trying to chill it down. He's like, "It's okay. He didn't know." And I felt so guilty at the time. Now I don't give a fuck. I'll literally put that on his head. Like next time I see
put it
him,
down his throat.
I'm putting that bowl on his head. Like I really don't care. that happens. And yeah, and the owner is coming over and he's like trying to settle it down and all of this stuff, which I appreciate. And you know, the next day I felt like something was off after that, especially with my relationship with the owner, because the guy that the it was a couple that ran the place, and the guy didn't hire me. The guy was the one that was there. So he was probably mad confused. He didn't know me like the girl did, which wasn't there. She really liked me. That's why she hired me. The next day, the guy was there again, and I was doing my thing a lot. I actually got lots of compliments from the older people that came in because they knew it was my first day because they were regulars. My second day because they were regulars, and they tipped me. Mind you, I didn't get any tips given to me, but
Well, yeah, it's because you were in training. Most 9 times out of 10 when you're in training, they don't allow you to have
yeah, which
tips.
is bullshit because that was my tip. But anyways, she's like, "Oh, you can leave early today," and I was a little confused. I was like, "Leave early? O-
I'm like, baby,
Okay.
this is my second day.
This is my second day. I'm confused on why I have to leave early." And I left, and when I got home, I got a message saying, "Hey, we can't have you come back." And at the time, I really needed a job, and I was devastated. I was crying because I was finally happy and I actually really enjoyed the job. And it really bothered me, especially, and I think a big part of it at the time, and at the time I had like long hair, I wore makeup and stuff, and she knew I was a man and stuff. But I think a big part of it was her husband, like he had beef with me or something. They was homophobic or something. The chef, like nobody liked me there except for the girl manager, which was she was so kind. I miss her still. We had the same birthday, by the way. I low key think I got fired because they were homophobic. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry about that job rant.
No,
It
it's
was much needed though. I
it's
needed to
perfectly
talk
fine. I feel
about
like it's
it.
definitely like a closure for you,
Do
probably.
while we're in this topic, did you want to talk about any job stuff and how your
I guess
experiences?
to finish off with this topic, I'm not very too fond of this subject right now at the
Oh,
moment. I currently just moved back to my hometown. I was living somewhere else for my senior year of high school, and after I graduated, I moved out. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go subscribe to my channel. It's LONIGRWM. Along with him, make sure you follow his channel because it's our collaborative channel. But basically, on my last video I posted on my channel, I was basically talking about how I moved back to my hometown and I'm living in a relative area to family again and everything. And one of those things was I had to find jobs before I moved over there because I had, got my own place and everything, and I'm a college student paying for my own stuff. And if anybody doesn't know this, bills are expensive, rent's expensive, everything's expensive nowadays. But you have to have a job to be able to pay for those things. And one of those things is like the first 2 weeks I lived there, I was not able to find a job because of the simple fact of it was just so difficult. I applied everywhere, called everywhere, everything, even with checking up. And I think one of my worst job experiences, interview wise, is I actually applied this to a pizza place, and they had literally interviewed me, told me that they were going to send me over the paperwork, everything. And usually when you get the paperwork, that usually means you get the job, right? And they did all of this just to say when I came back in the second week later to do my training or whatever, and they were like, "Well, actually, we already hired 2 other people," and I'm like, "Well, then why would you tell me? Why would you give me a?" They gave me a whole tour and everything in the place, like what I was gonna be doing and how
exactly.
my hours should be working, how much I was gonna get paid, and everything like this and that. And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Here's my thing. This is coming from somebody that has experience in the restaurant industry. I have worked in the restaurant industry for I worked in the restaurant industry from the time I was 15 all the way up until I was almost 18. I worked in there for 3 years. I had experience in host, I had experience in cashier, I had experience in food running, I had experience in serving. Even with all of that experience, it was still almost impossible to find a job. And I feel like the job industry is just so bad. And of course, it's summertime, so teens are trying to find jobs too.
Hmm.
And I feel like,
Which they deserve. It
oh,
should be
absolutely.
easy for
Absolutely.
to find a part-time job at maybe a McDonald's or a
Exactly.
Chick-fil-A. That's it should be easy.
But a lot of these jobs are taken up from older people that are not retired, that did not go through retirement and are having to live off of Social Security. And obviously, Social Security is not paying enough a month because you cannot afford bills with Social Security. I don't know if anybody has seen the percentage of Social Security you get, but it is not a whole lot, and that's not livable. So you have to, they're having to find these jobs, which is really sad because we have these 70, 80-year-old people that should be living at home and not worried about anything, that have just worked the rest of their whole life. And now they're working for the rest of their life. Like, that is just truly sad and disgusting, and something that's going on in America that I don't think a lot of people realize. And one of those things is like, just like I was saying, is it took me 2 weeks to find a job. 3 weeks, actually, I think. It was 3 weeks almost, I think. And that was the most exhausting, most stressful time of my life because I was still on a tight budget and barely had any money left, and was still trying to figure out, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do this? And I can only imagine how some of these people feel. And I, even then, I still got a job that isn't as good. And I'm still applying to jobs and still going to interviews, even with having a job, because I don't make enough money off of just one job. It's not livable.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize, but no
And
matter how hard you try, the only way you can get a job is if you truly are putting yourself out there, speaking out with recruiters. Anybody that you, this is just my number one thing. I'm a cashier right now, working at a job right now. And one of my biggest thing is if I see anybody that I applied for a job and I see them come in wearing their work shirt or something, I immediately am on them and talking about it and try to build an interest and profile with them. That way they can pull my application and prioritize it, and that way I can get an interview. And that's what happened to me. I just got an interview recently for this next upcoming Wednesday, and it wouldn't have happened if I did put myself out there. And I'm not saying that it should be like that, but it's just, it's so sad that I have to do that. Like, I have to literally advertise myself for a job.
and exactly, thank you for bringing that up because I wanted to lead into something that I've actually been currently experiencing, which I've been to this place. I've literally recorded me ranting about it on my channel if you want to check that out.
Sorry, but you have like a piece of
Oh.
beer. It's
But I've been to this place now 3 times. Just same guy too, by the way, same host. And he actually got to recognize me and he was like, "Okay, well, I recognize, I see we
it's
have
all about building a profile,
someone
babe.
leaving soon. So, you know what? I'll actually tell my manager about you." And, I'm going to email the manager soon. I probably should have done that already. Oops. Um, but yeah, it really is getting your foot in that environment, and you really have to kiss ass.
Oh,
And I know
absolutely.
it
And it's
does
so
suck.
sad.
And it does suck because you should be able to walk in somewhere and maybe in out of maybe 3 places you would get one of the jobs. That's how it should be. But you can't even walk into a McDonald's and be like, "Oh, can I get this job?" And guess what? You make the job, but you'll get 2 hours a week because
Oh,
that's how it
absolutely.
goes.
Absolutely. Um, I know we kind of went on a tangent, but we both had a lot of opinions on this because
I think it
we
was
just,
needed. I think
oh, most
I think
definitely.
that's what this episode might be titled. Who knows?
We just literally have so many opinions on that because we both have just struggled to have jobs and hold jobs and keep jobs and even get jobs. So
And no one's talking about it.
no, literally nobody is, but we will.
We will.
So this is my topic next, and it is basically the music industry as of right now. Okay, I have a good opinion on this.
Oliver Tree.
Oh, okay. I guess we can talk about Oliver Tree first, really
I want
quick.
to talk about Atlantic Records.
I'm gonna keep this very short with the Oliver Tree thing. Awful, 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 tragic accident that happened to him.
Very, very sad and unfortunate.
But I'm still not gonna forget the horrible things he was as a person as he was alive. I'm not saying what happened to him he deserves. I don't think anybody deserves to die. That's just not how I am.
Yeah, morally, I also agree.
Yeah, but it's still, obviously, like I said, it's a sad and tragic accident. But the sad thing is like, let me be so honest with you, nobody really cared about him until he was dead. And
And
that's the
that's
sad thing.
how
That really shows.
that's how it works. No one cares, and you get more famous after you die,
Literally,
whether it's if you're famous or not.
literally. But we're gonna end that because I don't want to talk more on that because I know it's a very controversial topic, and this is not what we're here for.
Yeah.
But something I do want to talk about is the music industry as of right now. I feel like this is just my opinion. I feel like 2026 is having its 2026 is having its 2016 repeat, in my opinion. I mean, we've all said that since the beginning of the year.
It's so exhausting.
But I honestly am loving the music industry right now. I feel like this year has been such full of good artists coming out with such amazing and incredible art and music that it's just like a blessing to my ear. Like I've never had so many artists come out with so much music within the span of just like 1 year. We're only halfway through the year too. That's the crazy part. And we still have more people coming out with more music that I'm so
Yeah.
excited for. But like for instance, Olivia Rodrigo, amazing, amazing, amazing album, banger
That
after
was
banger after
amazing.
banger.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Bruno Mars came out with a new album and went on tour. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Madison Beer,
Madison
Locket
Beer,
Deluxe.
Locket. Oh my gosh, we just went to Locket yesterday, so if our voice sounds weird, that's probably why.
Yeah.
But Locket was amazing, amazing music. Like just this year's just, in my opinion, has just been the year
You
for
know
music.
what? Before you said all that stuff, I was actually like, okay, the 2026, 2016 mock up, like reinvention has
Hmm.
been kind of exhausting for me. Like, it was cute at first. And I do hear some new 2016 like sounding music coming out, and that's what I mean by it's exhausting. Like, it already happened. Like, I get it's kind of like how Y2K comes back every now and then. We were talking about this with a release week girl we met yesterday at the Locket tour. Like, it just comes back reinvented, but I think the Y2K music was way better. I'm so sorry. But that's my opinion. You can love the 2016 aesthetic and style, but I already lived it and I didn't live through Y2K, so I enjoy it. I enjoy Y2K comebacks. But that's all I'll say for now. But the music it has been pretty good this year, I will say.
Oh, little ladybug. I think it's dead.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, no, I definitely
We have a
understand where
few
you're.
guests.
No, literally, I understand where you're coming from with that because, like, it's like I agree. Like, I feel like you know, I'm only 18. I'll be 19 in September, and so that means 10 years ago, I was about 8 or 9 around 2016. So I have a good recollection of
Hmm.
2016.
Me too.
I definitely lived it, loved it, soaked up every moment of it. I've been saying I've loved set 2016 since 2019, 2018, but I feel like some things like there's just no reason to bring it back like that, and I understand. I feel like,
I get the nostalgia factor.
oh, and I definitely agree, and I feel like a part of the reason why people are so heavy on, ooh, 2016, 2016, 2016, this and that, da da da, they don't realize like the state of our world is right now. I don't think people realize what was going on in 2016. It was election year. That was Trump versus Hillary. That was a very like political wise was a very insane year. And I actually want to bring this up because I want, oh, sorry guys, I dropped my mic. I actually want to talk about this because I want to talk about this because this is, I feel like this is very controversial and I don't feel, and if this was done nowadays, this would have been shut down immediately. Let's talk about the 2016 election, okay? I remember that year like it was yesterday. I remember
Oh,
when
good
Trump won. I
lord.
remember the night that Trump won. I remember, how everyone was rooting for Trump. And I'm not going to lie. Y'all can judge me all you want. I was 9 years old. I was, a Trump supporter at the time, only for the simple fact that I've come from a Republican family. Obviously, my political views have changed since then. I've matured, and I've also put myself in certain categories. But something that happened was in elementary school. I was in fourth grade. And I remember, Blake knows the story because it's insane. It's actually insane. I remember that day they had us all go to the gym and like there was literally like pole boxes on like these like tables, and it was either the elephant or the donkey. And those, which if you don't know, the elephant and the donkey represent political parties for the Republican and Democrat parties. I'm pretty sure the donkey is Democrat and the elephant is Republican.
Yeah.
Well, they basically were having us have a like actual election in school, like, and it wasn't even just like, oh, teacher or this or that. No, like it was like literally like the presidents. And I think the reason why they were doing that was because they wanted us to feel included, because of what was going on at the same time. And I guess they were bored and out of ideas of what to get the kids to do. But in my head, that's just so mind blowing because it's like it's just shown that like politics are infused into children's brains at such a young age. Because why was I sitting here telling people that I was going to vote for Trump, and when I was in the line and almost voted for Hillary, everyone's telling me that I'm in the wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about and all this and this and that. Mind you, I was from this really small town, like literally it was like a population of like I think like between 2,000 to 5,000. It's like a very small town and everybody knows everybody, and like it was mainly most of the small towns. It's mainly Republicans.
Editing Blake, please put that one Natalie Nunn meme. It's our Trump
Do
there.
not want to get in trouble out here. This is Trump, everything, and the sheriff lives next door.
But one of the things is like literally because it's such a small town, everyone's Republican there, and if you were a Democrat, you were seen as like an outcast. And so I wanted to just fit in with everybody, but like it's like in my head, I just already obviously I would never vote for Clinton. Ew, 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 ew. Hillary is a
Girl.
awful person, and everything and all the involvement she has with Epstein. I don't care how much she denies it. I don't like her to this day. But obviously, I knew who I was. Like Maddie knew who she was from a very young age. Like
Maddie
I knew the
knew
path I
who
was
she
taking.
was.
I knew the path I was taking as a person.
You
But
followed your heart.
no, literally. But I still think that like Trump is like you, but like why were we doing this in fourth grade? Like this is just absolutely insane. Like to
Absolute utter
even
nonsense.
it like I'm like and like when I think about it, I'm like, who comes up with this concept? Like who genuinely who
Like,
thought of this concept to be like,
oh yeah, we're gonna
let's
have
have an election for little children.
yeah, let's see who wins.
No, literally, and like obviously we already know, but like it was just so weird.
Because obviously it's just gonna be influenced by the parents.
Oh no, absolutely. And every time I tell Blake
Kids
about
don't
this,
know shit.
it's not even just Blake. When I tell Blake about this, he was like gagged. But like when I tell people in general about this, they're like genuine like, how was that even allowed? And people think I'm lying. I swear to God, I'm not joking. My mom will literally back me up on this. I remember it. Like I know I was not dreaming about this. I know this was real. And I even have friends. Like even if my friends are watching this, please comment down below and talk about how this happened because I know I'm not losing my mind. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. But that's enough of that. So we're gonna get into our next topic, which is Blake's topics. Blake can choose from whichever one he wanted.
Okay, this is also another brief one, but I just wanted to talk about it really quick. I wanted to talk about book slumps and just how magical Sarah J. Maas's universes are. And I know my girl here doesn't, she reads, okay.
I just am not a huge like fantasy reader. I'm more of like a dark
Yes.
romance.
Like Frida McFadden, like I love those too. He told me to read The Boyfriend. When I read it, wow,
Oh my God,
gag.
we need to talk about that. That was so.
We can talk about that first.
Okay, let's talk about the boyfriend first. Frida McFadden is like on this like just her books are so good and like it's like the
She
most unexpected plot.
that woman can write like no other, 2 books in a year.
She runs like she writes like she's running out of time.
Right.
Like Alexander Hamilton would say she's literally writing like she's running out of time. But The Boyfriend, if you have not read it yet, this is why I cannot wait. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I hope that she makes an adaptation of The Boyfriend because that storyline was just so good.
Incredible.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's gonna be a bit of spoils in here. But it's just the plot twist at the end and how we find out like the entire book you're trying to guess, okay, who's gonna be the killer? Who killed
Oh my God,
this?
I even got to a point where I thought the main character could have been the one killing. Like,
Literally.
that's how mind twisting the
Literally.
books are.
And then we find out that this entire time it was literally her best friend. Like
Yeah.
what?
Her best friend,
Like
with a different name
I'm literally
and
having goosebumps
everything.
right now.
Like
literal
it,
chills.
when I found that out, I was so gagged. It's insane the
No,
way
it
she
is
can
insane.
just write around that and how her brain even processes that thought in the first place.
Oh no, absolutely. Like her mind is just so creative. But back to what you were saying about the
Okay.
Sarah J. Maas.
And also, okay, with book slumps,
Mhm.
how does Frida not get writer's block?
You know, I honestly wonder the same thing sometimes.
Anyways, no, I was gonna talk about how reading can compared on TikTok, like you see all these girls like I read 200 books in a year, and I'm like, okay, well, shut up.
I'm like, stop lying. Like, we know you're lying, babe.
Even if you did do that, like good for you, but like honestly, it's low-key triggering. I'm gonna sound like a little pussy bitch, but I love reading so much, but it can get to a point after I finish a book, I'm like, I want to start a book right now, and then I'll read like 100 pages the next one, then I'll get a new book. So that's how it works every single time. And I'd say I read about 1 book a month, which, hey, compared to book talk, that's literally nothing. But as an average human being with other hobbies and duties, that's a normal amount of reading.
Yeah,
A book
I
a
feel like it
month.
definitely is.
But I feel like book talk especially has given me so much pressure to reading so much more than I can actually hold in my brain. And it's like, oh my God, I'm not reading enough. I get to the point where it's like doubting my reading abilities in general. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, I can read. And then, especially recently, I've been like, okay, well, book talk is fake. I just need to stop. So I'm currently in a little book slump right now, but honestly, I'm fine with that.
Oh, I most definitely am too. Even like me, like I have a Kindle, and bro, I love my Kindle down. Like I swear, was the greatest Christmas gift my mother could have ever bought me. But like even with me, like right now, with my life being so busy and like I'm so consumed with all the media that I'm consuming on a daily basis and everything, it's kind of hard to just find that peace of day. You know what I mean? To just
Mm-hmm.
be like, okay, I need to sit down and read.
Yeah, especially worrying about someone else's story when your story itself is already crazy.
Exactly. It's just it's hard to keep up with, and I feel like you know when people go through reading slumps, they take it too hard on themselves. But like also that's another thing. Like people don't realize is like there's so much published on social media that is fake. Like
Yeah.
everything you see is fake. Like for instance, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like one of the biggest catfishes on planet Earth when it comes to social
Oh,
media. There's tons of
same.
filters on my photos, good, and it depends on the lighting, how I move my body to shape it a certain way to make me not look so fat in a certain picture, how I tuck my arms, how I do my hair, how I look to the camera, how I smile, how I angle my face to make my face look symmetrical. Like I obviously do not look like that in real life. And I think a lot of people lose sense of that. Like everything you see on social media is not real. Not
Yeah.
everything you consume is real. Not everything you look at is real. And especially with the rise of AI, like a lot of people just I feel like lose sight of that. And actually, I this is a topic I didn't even write down, but I do want to talk about. Is since we're on the topic of AI, I want to talk about the Kylie Meta AI glasses.
By the way, can I talk about my Sarah J. Maas really quickly first?
Oh yes, sorry, I forgot.
No, no,
I'm
you're
totally
good.
jumping
We
over
can
subjects here.
definitely talk about the AI in a second. Ew.
You're such a bitch. Bro. Like, oh my god.
Sorry, guys. My mom just showed me this photo book of art I made when I was in elementary school. But I mean, I guess she's on topic with books. But anyways, speak the opposite of book slumps. Miss Sarah J. Maas. I read all of Akatar, A Court of Thorns and Roses. And everyone's saying the first book is boring. I don't care. That book literally got me out of the biggest slump. I read it in one day and it's like 400 pages. I think that was my peak reading disorder. That's what I'm going to call it, reading disorder. Because that's what it is. It was not healthy. I read the entire series in about 2 or 3 months. And Akatar is truly life changing. It truly changed my life and the way I see love differently. And then I read Throne of Glass right after. That has taken me a long time. I still haven't finished the last book, King of Ash, because it's 1,000 pages. And you know what? I don't even want to stress myself out with that. Like, I truly don't want to read it yet because I feel like I want to save Kingdom of Ash for a different time in my life. I don't feel like I need it right now. I read all of Throne of Glass except for that one, and I'm saving it for a special day. But anyways, that got me out of the book slump.
No.
But yeah, we can go on to AI now.
Okay, so one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about was the Kylie Meta AI glasses, and this is just me. That, like me personally, obviously, I know I use AI in my everyday life, and hold on, before you guys come for me, I use AI in my everyday life, but not in the way people think I use it. I use it unintentionally. Which all of us do.
All of us
Everything we
do,
do,
whether you know it or not, you use it.
yes, everything you use on your phone has AI. Everything you do on your phone has AI. You're using it in some way, shape, or form, even when you don't realize it. Now, do I purposely go to ChatGPT and just type into ChatGPT all the time and purposely use AI and run out of fresh water like Sky Jackson does? No, I do not.
By Sky
No,
Sky
truly.
Jackson, girl.
Oh my god,
My
that
lord.
is insane. I don't do that.
And she's profiting off of it.
No, literally.
So,
But I
crazy.
want the Kylie glasses so bad because one, the frames are adorable. They're the perfect frames I love.
They are so cute.
It's Kylie's voice in them. And not only that, but they transition from dark to black. And I wear glasses and contacts myself, so I can get it in prescription, and it would just be worth my bang for my buck. But the only really issue I have with it is the fact that it does use AI, and I'm
I mean,
trying
they
to
literally are
limit my
AI
AI use.
glasses. Yeah.
And I don't know. I just want to talk about that for a second because I thought it was like a really cool
Yeah, and to add
topic.
on to what he said, like, I also really think they are cool and really freaking pretty. And I think the idea is cool, but when you really think about it, all the money you're paying for it, and it's also like profiting, like giving money to these billionaires already that
Yeah.
own Meta and partnering with Kylie Jenner, like
Yeah.
it just I could give that money to a homeless person. I could help
Most
someone.
definitely, and I think they retail for like $400, and like I'm sorry, but I just don't have $400 to just pull my ass like
Plus,
that.
it's not helping the world, so I just think it's a little bit not worth it. But I truly think they're so cool.
I think the concept of it is really cool, and I think the
Yeah.
idea that like the vision she had for them is really cool. But I think like she still could have eliminated the use of AI. Like
Yeah.
and I understand that's what makes it signature and this and that, but at the end of the day, I just still I don't, and also I don't really support Meta like that anyways because Mark Zuckerberg is literally a freak. Like he's literally weird. Like he, there's rumors from going around right before Oliver Tree passed away that he was on that booger sugar. And, it's funny that Oliver Tree literally said that on stream the night before he died. But we're not going to get into that because I'm not trying to get, doxxed by the Illuminati. Anyways, but, that's all I have to say really on that subject. On to our next subject. I'm trying to find it, sorry. Do you want me to do mine or do you want to do yours?
You could do one. I just did mine.
Okay. So, well, we already talked about the Madison Beer concert. It was amazing. But so I'm gonna go ahead and skip past that topic. It was very brief. I don't want to keep it long. There wasn't really much to talk about it. But this is my last topic on my list, and obviously we will just go back and forth based off of your topics. But this is the last topic I had on my list. This is a bit of a more personal topic, I guess, and I know Blake can also add on to this topic, but conquering anxiety. Oh my God. When I tell you, I have never been so stressed, so anxious, so much and everything. This is something I want to talk about, and this is very like raw and vulnerable for me to talk about because I don't really talk about my mental health issues online. I like to bring awareness to it and talk about it with people that need help so they don't feel alone. But I recently just got into a new relationship about 4 months ago, and like every relationship does, we have our days where it's not always the best. We also have our days where it's the best, you know. And I'm a mentally ill person, and I'm not quite sure what I have. I definitely have suspicions I'm some sort of borderline or bipolar because my emotions do flip very fast. And being in a relationship has made it a lot harder to control my mental health. Not in a bad way because I do love my partner. It's just one of those things where I'm learning to adapt and learning to heal and grow and fix my inner child. But one of those things is my anxiety and my attachment to this person, which is my partner, was so unhealthy at one point to the point where I lost sight of myself and lost everything within myself. And I have started to build my confidence back and my self love again. And not saying that he didn't show that to me. It's just I was having a problem finding it myself. And I feel like anxiety is such a killer and people don't realize it because there's no reason I should be going to bed at night and my heart feels like it's a little bit pound on my chest, or that I get migraines from stress and anxiety constantly, and being scared to walk into a room and feared about being judged or how I'm looked at or what people are saying. And anxiety is truly a killer, and I feel like the biggest reason why I was able to conquer it so much and make it better was because I just learned that, like, at the end of the day, we live on this big, beautiful green earth, and it's like we're literally on a rock. Like, why do I care what someone else has to say about me? Why do I care to hear about from opinion from somebody that doesn't benefit me in any way, shape, or form? If you don't pay my bills, you don't you don't feed me, you don't clothe me, you don't do anything beneficial for me emotionally, anything, then why should I care about someone else's opinion? And I feel like that's where people really get caught up in, is like
The world is
society.
my oyster.
Exactly. And society is so heavily online that, like, we all are looking at each other through pictures. We don't even take time to go out and
Yeah,
meet
going back to the
people.
beauty standards again.
Exactly. And going out to meet people and talk to people and know people as their personality besides what we see from online, because there's so many people I've met in person, and their social media and stuff, everything is so completely different from who they are as a person. And
Oh,
that's what I'm
ooh.
trying to say is like social media is a facade.
Even
It's such a huge
personalities.
facade.
Like you see
Exactly.
someone's great and you think they act a certain way, but they are totally different.
Oh, most definitely. And I just guess that's what I wanted to say on that topic. This is my last topic of this episode. But basically, just all my anxiety ridden girls out there, you're not alone. I know exactly how you feel and how, like, it just sucks. Cause, like, there's been so many times where I'm like, I just want to live inside of a different brain. And if it wasn't for the support systems I have, like my best friend and my family, I truly wouldn't have gotten where I'm at today. And if I didn't have people telling me, like, bitch, you need to just, stand on business and do you and care about yourself before other people, then I would have probably never gotten out of that place. And I truly feel like
Yeah.
that's like a huge thing is like you need to do you and worry about yourself and do what's best for you. It's okay to care about other people, but what's not okay is to lose sight of yourself because you're caring too much about other people.
And I wanted to add on, it's a little bit different than what he was talking about. It's not about my experiences. Well, I guess it is. But a few things I've done to really help my anxiety personally was mainly getting into the mindset of taking it day by day. And when you take it day by day, you think about all the things you're going to do in the next hour, not all the things you're going to do in the next 10 years.
Oh,
And
I'm the worst with
that
that.
then overstimulates and gets to my brain.
Yeah.
And then you can't get rid of it. So I've tried implementing like little things in my morning routine. Like every morning he knows this, I never skip my skincare because that is one thing that helps my anxiety. Another thing, I make a coffee or a glass of tea and I sit outside for a minute. See, it could be those little things that you practice every day. And also, waking up early helps with anxiety, even if you believe it or not, it does because you have more time
I think
and
it also
less things
just
to worry about.
I feel like stuff like that is just grounding yourself basically.
Grounding, going outside, touch the grass at least
Yes, because some of you bitches need to touch
at
grass.
least for a minute of your day, and don't stress yourself out for maybe not getting enough movement you need in a day. You can do that tomorrow. You can do that next week. Think about the little things first.
Yeah.
And if you truly do need help, please reach out. There are free things. And they might not be as helpful, but they still help. Talking to a friend, talking to your mom or anything.
Yeah, I definitely feel like
And I'm so sorry to everyone that has anxiety out there that's watching.
God, it's awful. It's definitely a killer, but it's not unconquerable. It's not something you can. I feel like it's one of those things. Is like you're always gonna deal with it, and like yes, there's medications for it and everything. I've taken medication for my anxiety before. It doesn't really help as much in my opinion, but it's just one of those things that you just like you said you have to take day by day. You just have to learn to live with it instead of trying to force it out. You know.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna let Blake look at the rest of the topics because the rest are his, and for him to talk about. So.
Okay, so we've been officially running for about an hour now. So this is probably going to be our last topic. My mom's walking like a peacock.
A peacock is crazy.
Okay.
Got one of my topics. Holy cow! This will be our last topic. Okay, so this is gonna be our last topic to close out this episode, and this is a very, very, very controversial topic. I feel like, in my opinion, this is just me, in my opinion. Children in the music industry, and just in the social
We
media
definitely
industry,
forgot about this. Okay.
specifically Northwest. Oh my god! So, my opinion on this is I truly listen. I'm all for self expression in children to an extent. I feel like there's self expression that you should allow your child to have self expression to an extent, to a point where A, it doesn't mature them too fast, or B, they don't look like an adult. The thing is with Northwest, I think a lot of people forget she's only 13.
I thought she was 12.
No, she's 13. And she dresses like she's 16, 17.
Good
And here's my
lord.
thing. This is coming from somebody. It's obviously, as you guys can see, I have a pretty good bit of piercings. I have my septum, I have my ears, and I have my belly. Like, I have a good bit of piercings. The piercings on her hands is truly disgusting to me, and whoever is the piercer that is doing them needs to get his or her license revoked, along with Kim Kardashian needs a defects visit, because why are you allowing your child to get a piercing on their hand? This is just me. Hand piercings are fine, but almost 9 times out of 10, piercers are going to tell you, at least a professional licensed piercer, that you can't buy their license with money. Like obviously Kim is doing, because she's obviously not going to a reputable piercer. They will tell you almost 9 times out of 10 they don't mind doing the piercing itself, but they do not recommend it for the simple fact that you use your hands so much with your joints and everything, especially where her piercings are at is right on her tendons and her joints right there. and you wash your hands so much that it's going to be a very hard piercing to heal. B, there's a 50-50 chance that it can reject and cause scarring. And C, it's just going to cause scarring in general, even if you do remove it and you get tired of it. And I feel like Kim, as much as I love, I've always loved the Kardashians since I was a kid. Have I always do I agree with everything they do? Absolutely not. But I feel like Kim is not taking care of her child and watching her. Like that has to be child abuse because you're literally letting your 13-year-old daughter, get piercings that are. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, you gotta remember her body is still growing, so her hands are still growing,
Mm-hmm.
her legs are still growing, her face is still growing, her head, everything on her body is still growing, and you're letting a literal child have a piercing that is meant for like at least 17 or 16 and above, and it's just like I don't agree with it. And another thing is like I know Blake was talking about this earlier, how she's going live and she's performing concerts and everything. And I get that Kanye West is for dad, and he's a performer. Good for him. I don't have anything really to say on him. I'm not going to. Um, I understand that he's a performer, and so it's obviously going to be in her blood to be a performer. Along with her mother is a businesswoman. Obviously, that's not the avenue she's taking. But there has to be there's child just because your
This is what
child
I
is a
was talking
performer
about. Yeah.
is there is still child labor laws even in California. I'm sorry, but there is still child labor laws, especially for a 13-year-old. They cannot be out at a certain time working past a certain time. They can only perform for so long. They can like people don't realize like there's just so much more that goes into this with the legalities of everything, and I just truly feel like they're putting her too fast in the spotlight. Like in my opinion, someone that is a very good example of a good child star is, for instance, Blue Ivy,
Oh yeah.
Beyonce's daughter.
I also just wanted to say
Amazing.
really quick, like, I truly just hope North is safe.
Oh no, that's what I'm worried about too.
Because this is obviously none of North's fault. Whatever she's done, I'm not
Yeah,
judging. We're not
no,
judging
we're
North.
definitely not judging the child here. It's the
We are
parents.
just concerned because if she's doing all this and we see it, imagine what's behind the scenes.
Oh no, most definitely. And like that's another thing is like
Oh my God, an Alabama Barker hanging out with grown men.
no, literally. And that's another thing is like people don't realize is like, do you know how many people are perverted? I mean, let's just say this really quick. The only reason why Kim Kardashian got famous is for the simple fact that she sexualized herself and objectified herself with a sex tape with Ray J or whatever the hell his name was that got leaked. So she's famous for being sexualized, okay? Along with the rest of the Kardashian family. I'm sorry, but that's literally why men are so appealed to them like that. Not because of their makeup or their cosmetic brands or their fashion or their empire that they built, because of the simple fact of their bodies, especially Kim. Do you know how many people, especially grown men, would love to go to a Northwest concert, Kim Kardashian's daughter's concert, just to get off to
And
that?
Kanye West's daughter, mind
That
you.
is disgusting. And not to mention, it's also a danger because do you know how many people hate Kim Kardashian and Kanye
And
West,
yeah,
and they're gonna try to take that out on their child, especially Kanye West with the Nazi stuff that he had going on or whatever. I'm not gonna get too heavy into that because I just don't have the time or care. But that is putting your child at risk of getting hurt or an attack or even worse. Like, I mean, we've even seen like with Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande is not that hated of a person, yet she still had a massacre, a literal massacre, bombing in Manchester. What, back in like, was it 2017, 2018? I can't remember. That's what I'm talking about is like, you're setting your child up for literal death threats. That is so dangerous, and I feel like it's very concerning as to why we are not paying attention to this type of stuff. But that's all I have to say on this. If you'd like to add on to it, you can. If you don't have anything else to say,
I mean, really, again, you know, just the safety of it all.
yeah, most definitely.
And I don't know. I feel like, especially with the Kardashians, this is a really reoccurring thing.
Mhm.
The only person I really trust as a parent in the Kardashian kingdom is Kylie Jenner, and maybe a little bit of Chloe, but we're not gonna get into the Chloe stuff right now.
Most definitely. We'll say that for another episode.
Yeah,
Because I can talk a long time about Khloe Kardashian.
yeah, but
Not even bad things.
not even bad, good and bad. There's only one bad thing I wanted to talk about, but we'll talk about that later. Um, especially with Courtney and Travis, I know they're older parents, I really don't understand why they're gonna let Alabama hang out with all these grown people.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I know Alabama's like what 21, 22.
I thought she was a teenager still.
No, she's in her 20s. I'm pretty sure she's either 19 or in her 20s. She's definitely. Hold on.
Look it up.
How old is Alabama Barker?
Alabama Barker is 20 years old.
Yeah, she's in
Oh,
her
okay.
20s. So she's definitely not a teenager anymore. But I still do understand where you're coming from with your concern. I still think it's a little bit weird.
Okay, well, now knowing that she's 20, I guess. I mean, what can you do? I don't know. Something feels off. That's all I was going to say, pretty much. But
then again, I also can't comment on that heavily because she's a grown woman. At the end of the day, she can
yeah,
only do what she
that's why I was like, well, she's grown. So, I mean,
I also love Alabama Barker. I know that this is very controversial, but I guess it's because I didn't really see like the behind the scenes and seeing how bad Baby was. Don't get me wrong, I love both of them. But Bad Baby, like the man she was with, LJ or whatever, she's so in love with him, she's literally lost her mind.
oh, God. No, it's so sad.
I don't agree with home wrecking or anything or whatever the hell happened. Obviously, none of us were behind
just
those
the
doors.
clips
But
and the abuse.
yeah. But anyways, I think we're gonna end this out here.
Yeah. Sorry we ended it with such like a sad subject.
I feel like it was just like, and I completely forgot about that subject until I was like, wait a minute, you know?
The child stardom.
Literally,
so scary.
It's a very scary place. But I'm gonna end this here. Me and Blake both hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. We will definitely be back again, hopefully soon. Don't know how soon. Still working on some things behind the scenes, but once we get in the flow of things, we'll try to be regularly uploading.
And also, make sure you guys like and
subscribe. Also,
don't forget the notification bell.
Yes.
Because that's when you know when we'll be posting. Okay.
Absolutely. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel,
Oh, yeah.
LONIGRWM. And don't forget to subscribe to Blake's channel.
Which will also just be linked. Literally, all of our channels will be combined with this video.
Yeah, because if you're also coming from either one of our channels, because we're going to make it a collaborative thing where it's collaborated on both of our channels, so you can see it still on both of our channels. Just because you're subscribed to my channel does not mean you don't need to subscribe to this one too, okay? And we're working on Apple Music and Spotify thing to get our podcast on there. We just have to figure out the logistics of everything. We don't know what we're doing, you know?
Yeah.
Still learning. But yeah.
And one more thing is, if you guys have any subjects you want us to talk about, any ideas, let us know, because I feel like that's the one difficult thing about podcasting that I've realized, at least.
Finding hot takes.
Finding the hot topics. And I don't want to go in the past and talk about old stuff, because no one even cares. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, let us know some recent events. If I find some videos, then I'll try to save them and talk about those topics. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
So this is going to be the conclusion to our video, and we hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you next time.
Thank you so much. Make sure you comment a red heart emoji
if you watched it until you get to this part.
This long.
Good.
All right.
Bye.